Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Casey, New World News. Today is Friday, September 25th, 2020. Now, I decided to film this from my regular filming position, and I have my merch on and everything, so just ignore it. Again, the channels are separate. So 3 stories to cover tonight for you over the last couple of days. The big one, of course, the story about Breonna Taylor and the 3 police officers involved in the shooting that ended up in her death. 2 of them not charged, and 1 of them charged with actually what is essentially endangerment to the occupants of the other apartment next door, where they fired bullets that went through the wall. It's called wanton endangerment. Am I saying that? Wanton endangerment? Wanton endangerment? W-A-N-T-O-N. Excuse me if I'm not saying it correctly, but he was put up on $15,000 in bail, released on bail, and is facing, I think, a maximum of like 5 years in prison. But of course, that's probably not going to happen. It resulted, that was Wednesday night, the 23rd, and it resulted in protests that night and the 24th, Thursday last night across cities, especially in Louisville, Kentucky. If you're not familiar with the Breonna Taylor story, she was a young lady, African-American in Louisville, who was apparently asleep in her apartment with her boyfriend. The police were executing a no-knock warrant into their apartment in the middle of the night at like midnight or 12:30. And the boyfriend shot at the police shot back. He survived, she did not. I believe he was injured. He was hit with 1 bullet. I think somebody can check me on that one. But there's been calls that the officers murdered her and shot her, and that the boyfriend was just defending the home because he thought somebody was breaking in, which is reasonable. You know, if somebody kicked in my door in the middle of the night, I'm probably not going to take a lot of time to figure out who it is. I'm going to draw my gun and start firing. That's pretty reasonable. I can't lie about that. But there's been conflicting stories about her being in bed versus her being at the hallway of the entryway. Can't get a straight story on that. There's also been, outrage over he was a drug dealer and she was in on it or knew about it or didn't know about it or a part of it or wasn't a part of it. There was also some talk about the no-knock warrant being legal or not legal, constitutional, should it be allowed? Because even though, let's assume that he was a drug dealer and criminal and the cops kicked in the door in the middle of the night, what do they think is going to happen? Americans have the right to defend themselves. So it's a complete mess, shit show to say the least. But what's your opinion? What do you guys think about that story, first of all? And second of all, as far as the arrest and the charges go, we'll have to see how they work out. That was the update from Wednesday. Protest, of course, because the protesters want and rioters want them charged, the officers charged with, at the very least, manslaughter, if not murder. It's just not going to happen. The Attorney General just said there's just no way they can prove that, no way they can have a case over that. And being that the warrant was constitutional and legal at the time, it still is, I believe, they'd never be able to prove that case, and they would walk. So that is where it stands with that case, but I'll leave it off to you guys for the opinions, as always, in the comment section. I'll read them and respond as I can. So let's move on to story number 2. And story number 2 is from my home state of Florida. Today, September 25th, Friday, 2020, Governor Ron DeSantis has rescinded the mandatory mask policy as Florida enters reopening phase number 3. No mask required. Now, of course, businesses can still issue policies, but there can be no fines and no arrest over not wearing a mask. And this should relax a lot of the restrictions. Also, restaurants and bars, salons, gyms can open at full capacity without restrictions. No more moving tables and bar stools across the restaurant. Does not matter. Full capacity, period. They can still implement the policies that they wish to implement. So that is Governor Ron DeSantis. If you don't know, you're not familiar with him, a lot of people don't like him. They know that he likes Trump. He's been this way since before Trump existed. So I'm not fanboying over Governor DeSantis, but it wasn't Trump that made him with the policies that he has. He has always been this type of governor, and that's why he is the governor of Florida. So Ron DeSantis opening Florida, phase number 3, no mask. The mask laws rescinded. Policy can still be policy. And all the places of business can open at full capacity, starting effective immediately. And story number 3, since we just mentioned Trump, it was found yesterday on the 24th that there were some military mail-in votes that were marked for Trump found in the trash. Now, I know the original number was 9 or 9 or 10. But this illustrates the point that they can end up in the garbage and that mail-in votes are not 100% safe. You know, there's a meme going around Facebook that says, if you believe so much in mail-in voting that you should go ahead and put $1,000 in an envelope and mail it somewhere in the country, who cares, to DC, to your friend, to your neighbor, your mother, your sister, wherever, and see how comfortable you are mailing that. And a lot of people are like, oh, no. Then why would you mail your vote in? Because your vote is priceless, right? Your vote is your right, and it's worth more than that $1,000 to some people. So you can't trust the mail system. Look, I'm a reseller, an online e-commerce reseller for a living, and I mail thousands of packages a month. And you would be surprised, and probably not surprised, at how many disappear and never are found. It is bonkers. I would never trust the USPS with something so valuable. The things we ship are $20, $30, $50. So yeah, when it gets lost, it's a pain, but it's usually insured and it's payoffable, or there's things we can do. Mailing a ballot, a vote, is really nothing you can do. There's no feedback for that. So, and no coverage for that. So yeah, I wouldn't trust it, and I don't. And it has nothing to do with who I'm voting for. If I was voting one way or the other, or for the other side, I would not trust it no matter what. I think the Democrats shouldn't trust it, and I think the Republicans shouldn't trust it. No one should trust the mail system. The USPS is completely broken. It's terrible. In fact, just today, I had a package returned to my house, a piece of clothing that was sold by somebody who used it's not even mine. It was sold by another seller, and it came to my address as a return address. I'm like, this isn't even mine. Why did it ship to me? It should have shipped back to them as return. That's how bad it is. I mean, Amazon loses tons of packages through the post service every day. So no, I don't trust it at all. And it has nothing to do with corruption or Trump this or Trump that. It's simply the post office is a failure. They get stuff wrong so often. It's crazy. So it's not surprising to me that there were ballots found in the trash. But when packages disappear, they don't typically end up in the trash. They end up somewhere else at the wrong place, or they end up in their warehouse. This ending up in the trash was an obvious sign that somebody sabotaged those votes. And from what I understand, they're marked R for Republican and D for Democrat. And if somebody saw that and wasn't a fan of the Republicans, because these were Trump votes, they confirmed, they would definitely have trashed it. And nobody should be able to tell what's in those packages. Now, I have to confirm that they are marked R and D, which I'm going to do the research on tonight for the next video. But it looks like that's the way it is. So I want to hear what you guys think about. Do you trust the post office for your mail-in ballots? Do you think it's a good system? Do you think we should do it in person? And the people saying it's not safe to do it in person because of the ongoing pandemic. Well, Florida just got rid of the mask law. States are reopening. People are going to school. People are going to work. If you can do all of these things, going to the gym, to restaurants, wherever, you can certainly go in person to vote. And if you don't feel comfortable, wear a mask. Otherwise, the rest of us are going to go and vote like normal. Go in person, period. Like one way or the other. Mask, no mask, I don't care how you do it. Go in person and put your vote in. Stand in line, do what you have to do. Please don't trust the Postal Service to take your valuable vote and mail it in successfully. Between the normal failings of the USPS and now what looks to be sabotage, it's just not okay. Like, that's just me, and I don't like to give a lot of opinions here, but this is fact. I deal with the post office in a non-political electoral way every day, and they're just not reliable. So we continue to use them because they are the cheapest, and the amount of loss that I take is way offset by the amount of money that I save not using UPS or FedEx, but it's still a pain in the butt. So, okay, that's where I'll leave you guys here on a Friday, September 25th, 2020. Let me know what you think of the video. Let me know what you think of the content. And please leave your opinions and thoughts in the comment section below. It's the only way I know what you guys are thinking, and the only way that I can respond to you directly, because I do respond to all of my own comments. So thank you, everyone, and I will see you next time. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up if you like the content, and hit that subscribe button. Subscribe to build this channel so I can put out more videos for you guys. Gonna try to get to every day eventually. So I'll see you guys next time.